All right, what is up, everybody? We are here for number 9 of the Skull and Bros show. Myself and Rasmus are going to discuss the NASA Whistleblower. What?
Yeah, buddy. What's
What?
happening, everybody? Happy to be back. How are you, bro?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. We're just we need to get to the bottom of this, Rasmus.
Yeah, I think so. I'm very torn on this whole thing, man, to be honest. I didn't look at much, but anytime the government starts talking about aliens, I'm like, I, isn't that funny? Like the conspiracy theorist in me goes, nah, I think that's bullshit. It's just a distraction.
Well, that's the problem, right? Is that they haven't been honest so far. So it's like are they really here's the thing even too, right? Because recently they well, not recently, I guess it was last year or whatever, they
Mm.
admitted that there were, I forget how they stated it, but it was like just things of non, like whatever they said, it was like they're just UFOs are real, unidentified flying objects. Like they
Yeah,
didn't say that they were from another planet. They didn't say that they were from aliens. They just said that there was unidentified shit flying around, which is like not really
yeah,
like it's like a kind of a confession, but not really a confession.
yeah. But yeah.
Right? It's very
It,
vague. I mean, sure, there's things they didn't, like, again, they didn't say it's from another dimension. They didn't say it's from another planet. They're just like, there are things.
yeah, there's some stuff. There's
Yeah,
some stuff out there
like,
flying around. Yeah, but it could be okay. So what's the alternatives? It's like it's either some technology from Russia or China or something like
exactly.
that, or their
That,
own, or your technology, like the U.S. technology.
well, then it wouldn't be unidentified, I guess. But how
Yeah,
much do
but
you believe
couldn't
that
that?
as well?
But couldn't that be like if you invented something that is so cool and great, but then people see it and you don't want to admit that it's yours, you'd be like, "Hey, that's a UFO."
Yeah, for
Maybe.
sure. No, I was gonna say that anyway. Like if like when the stealth bomber. How long do you think they had that before they finally were like, "Yo, we got this plane nobody can detect"?
For a while, I'm sure.
Probably a while. Because once
Yeah,
they put that out, then at least other countries know that it even exists. But until then, they're just like, they don't know, so you can just pop in and out of their airspace.
yeah,
If they don't know there's something else to hunt down or search for, they're not going to look for it.
yeah.
All right, I got an article here. Pentagon whistleblower claims the U.S. has UFO crash retrieval programs since the 40s. See?
Yeah, I've heard of that before.
Well, so I guess it was the 40s that it started. Oh, so all these, I don't know if UFO sightings started. Yeah, the 40s. So that was after. When did they drop the bombs? Was that in the 40s?
What the big bomb?
Yeah.
Uh, I
I,
don't know. That yeah, probably 40s, right?
so the whole thing is that aliens and entities started visiting Earth after they let off those two nuclear bombs.
Hmm.
And we had on another podcast we had Ryan Bloodsoe, and they have his father and him now, I guess, are actually recognized by the CIA for getting visited by entities on the
What?
property. Yeah.
Really?
Um. So, and he's said this for a long ass time, or the father has. Um. And he said that they came and told them that the reason that they started visiting was because the nuclear bombs were messing up the other dimension. Like, so he also said that they're not from like another planet necessarily, it's like another dimension,
Hmm.
and that the nuclear stuff was screwing up that dimension as well. Here's my only thing, and obviously I'm not a scientist and I don't know this stuff that well, but it's like, How can we have physical? How can you get physical stuff if it's from another dimension?
I don't know. That's all way too complex. I watched a kid yesterday trying to explain, and this was it. The title of the video was like the kid who explained the kid who disappeared after explaining this.
Hmm.
So it made it sound like the kid like they suicided him or something. I don't
Right.
know. But he had a video where he explained like 2D, 3D, and 4D, and which I know he was talking about dimensions, which it was I didn't get it. It was super
Yeah.
complex. He was saying that we live in a three-dimensional world, but we actually only experience 2D.
Hmm. Is it
Because
still
like
up, this video?
if I show you this mug, right?
Yep.
The only like you actually only see two dimensions of it.
Right. Yeah, it looks kind of flat.
Yeah, and the only change is if I do this. But you still like I don't know. He was explaining it was fucking super weird, and I gave up after like 5 minutes because I was like, I'm not gonna get this. But yeah, it sounds weird that you could bring physical objects from a different dimension to
Right.
here.
Um,
Maybe it's energy though, like
well,
because if the bombs mess with their dimension, maybe the energy from the bomb was so
well,
massive
I
that
think, like we were talking about DMT and that realm and stuff like
Mhm.
that.
Yeah,
So it's obviously still here. You know what I mean? Like if you can
yeah,
access it when you do DMT, then it's wherever it is.
yeah,
Um, and maybe those beings are so powerful that they can manifest stuff into our dimension. I don't know.
yeah.
All right, so let's read what this guy says. This is Pentagon whistleblower claims U.S. has UFO retrieval program since the 40s. So is this guy now like what's his name? Julian Assange? Is he now hiding in some other country so that like every other whistleblower does he have to hide
Probably.
now?
I don't know. I didn't hear about it, but uh
Every time a whistleblower in the realm of the UFO phenomena comes forward, there tends to always be skepticism involved, uh, even from true believers in the subject, like Rasmus. They have been waiting for palatable evidence that can answer that ages old question. This is not right. We are alone in the universe. Are we alone in the universe? So many from the past and current generations have wanted to get the answers. Blah blah. So Air Force veteran David Gersh, one of many former U.S. officials who have been coming forward to the government about the existence of alien life. His claims were first published by authors Leslie Kean and Ralph Blumenthal. That's a weird name. On the debrief. He has the credentials to not be discredited for his testimony. Listen, if they wanted to discredit him, like Bob Lazar, if they
yeah,
wanted to, they would just discredit him. They're like, oh, he has credentials, he's fine.
yeah,
But they pretend like Bob Lazar didn't even work at the place, yet he knew the whole layout and he knew a bunch of people
yeah, exactly.
So the debrief wrote, "We are not talking about Prozac origins. Prozac? I don't know what that means." In a debriefed media exclusive, Ralph Blue and Leslie Kean report that a former intelligence officer has told Congress and the IG that the U.S. has retrieved crash of non-human origin. This is like we already knew this. This is what's weird to me, right? Even the announcement, they're like, "Oh, we're going to make this big announcement. Guess what? There's stuff flying around. We don't know what it is." Okay, that's not really an announcement. And then they're like, "Oh, the whistleblower comes out and says, hey, they've been collecting shit since the 40s." Yo, like, how many people have said this?
Yeah, yeah.
This is not new
It's been
stuff.
out for a while. And whether it's true or not, you know what fucks with me on this one? It's like So if the government and like the huge organizations of the world find something that is like non-human made and like alien, that I would say you should probably consider that a possible threat, right?
that they're visiting.
Yeah, like if they can come here, they could probably fuck us all if they wanted to.
You know, that's interesting, right? If let's say that balloon that was flying over, right,
Hmm.
fell and there was Russian, Chinese guys inside of it, you know what I mean? Right? They
Yeah,
would be like, fucking China was attacking us.
yeah, exactly. So this is an argument that I've talked to other people about this too, with aliens especially. There was some conspiracy that Hitler had he was allied with some aliens up in like Antarctica or some shit.
Right.
And I'm just like, so why didn't he win?
Right. That is the other
Like
one.
like there's fucking if he had alien weaponry and aliens helping him, he would have won.
They were like,
And
nah, bro, you're fucked up. We're not even gonna do
yeah, but like,
it.
so if to me, if there's like we find aliens on planet Earth and they can come here and they possibly they could be very hostile, they could take over the planet, it could be a dangerous situation, right? So if the government is looking at this, if we lock down the whole planet for a virus that kills almost no one, or like 0.015% or whatever it was for the pandemic, I would assume that if we have aliens coming here and they actually say that, hey, the aliens are here, why isn't there like a panic mode? Like, we need to be prepared if shit goes down.
Well, that's true, you know, because everything's pushed uh, with the thought of safety in mind, right?
Yeah,
That's what
yeah,
all this is: masking,
uh-huh,
staying inside,
yeah,
shots. It's all with keeping people safe.
yeah,
But that's an interesting thought, though. What are you going to do from something that can fly to your planet from another planet, like, or show up from another dimension? Like, how do you keep the people
you
safe?
you probably can't, but there's probably, I mean, I don't buy it because they don't even they don't even prepare us at all. Like they don't say nothing. Hey, we found some aliens, and that's it. Like, if it was real, wouldn't they like make a big fuzz out of it?
Yeah, they'd be like, if you see any of these, do not approach it. Do not
Yeah,
approach it. It's dangerous. We don't know what kind of diseases they may carry. We don't
exactly.
know, uh, what their spacecrafts are putting off that may be dangerous. Like, I
Yeah,
feel
or
like
they
they for
might fucking
sure,
shoot you with some
yeah,
lasers.
yeah,
Or they,
with their
I mean,
mind.
if you look at all the alien movies that we've ever seen, give me one example of like an alien movie where they come here and they're like, "Hey, what's up? We're just checking you out. We don't want nothing. We don't want to
Well,
eat
that
you
would
or
make a
kill you."
shitty movie, Rasmus. Like, what's the
Well,
conflict?
yeah,
They
I
need to
guess.
be coming here trying to probe our buttholes. What's with all the Why are aliens so into anal? Like, what is the deal?
I don't know. Why are humans so much into anal, man? There's something about the asshole that's just interesting
It's
to
like,
all species, I think.
it's true. People are always trying to study black holes, huh?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's it's weird, but then I don't know what to make of all this because on one side of me, if someone goes, "Do you think there's aliens out there?" I'm like, "Yeah, probably." Like, what are the odds that we're the only like biological creatures
That's how
in
this
the
story
universe that are?
started, Rasmus. It said even the most hardcore alien believers are skeptical.
Yeah, so that's me that talking about
Let's see what
But
he. I'm gonna play
yeah, yeah,
his
keep going.
little interview real quick. See if it.
Bombshell
Oh,
claims
it's
from a
11
military
minutes.
whistleblower. UFO wreckage recovered by the U.S., kept classified by a secret government program for decades. Tonight, a world television
Duh.
exclusive you will only see on News Nation. Welcome to Elizabeth Vargas Reports, earning your trust.
All right, we
every
don't care.
night.
Where's the guy?
former intelligence officials in the US defense and intelligence establishment.
Yes, I was.
You were trusted with the most intimate secrets.
Yes.
Grush sitting down with award-winning investigative journalist.
Too much. I just want to hear what he has to say. What was the other thing I had? Oh, so here's another. Well, I think this is from 2022. Alien crafts in our solar system in NASA images. So there's a bunch of images of crafts that were taken by NASA. That looks like a rock. That looks like a flying rock. What was the other one that I just saw? Oh yeah, massive UFO over Japanese highway. Also, this is UFO sightings footage.uk. So you know that all of this is on the up and up.
Of course.
Okay, so I'm playing it. I don't think it was playing that music, the UFO. Just so you know. I think they added that.
Probably. Or maybe the UFOs come with the theme song.
They actually, we've been trying to do it. We've been emulating it with our TV shows for all these years, and they're like, bitch.
Yeah.
Once we get chips implanted, can we just play music like that for just depending on our mood? Just be like,
I guess. If you had a speaker installed also.
Dude, that's what I'm going to do. That way, depending on whatever I think or feel, it'll just...
Yeah.
It'll play out for other people. Yeah, so this is just... And these are all... Oh, this silver metallic UFO sphere hovering over Portsmouth, UK. UFO using cloaking technology over London. Extraordinary video. Let's see that. Bro, why did we need to ask that guy? Why don't you just ask this fucking website? Like, what are you guys talking about? You're wasting time.
Yeah. It's so hard to know what's real and what's not real.
Exactly.
Even the videos, even the ones from that, what's his name? Lazar?
Yeah.
And those military videos from...
Well, that's...
That Tic Tac that was flying.
Problem is that we know now that you can make anything.
Yeah.
You know, that is interesting, right? They waited until we're at a point where you can just make bullshit up and actually, you know what I mean? Like, make it look like it's real and then put it out there. And now all of a sudden they're like, all right, we're going to come clean.
Yeah.
This is what happened. And I'm like, okay.
Where you can make shit where no one can decipher if it's real or not.
Exactly.
Now you come clean.
Exactly.
It is weird timing.
Okay, so this is only a minute 50.
UFOs spotted and now documented around the world, holding their first ever public meeting. Top scientists at NASA joined by a team from the
NASA's first ever public meeting. Really pulling out the big guns.
Department of Defense revealed pictures and video like this one that captured a metallic spherical orb in the Middle East last year.
This is a typical example of the thing that we see most of.
Saying the origin of the orbs is unclear, officials at the DoD plan to soon deploy dedicated sensors to better track UFOs, technically known as UAPs, unidentified anomalous phenomena.
The current existing data and eyewitness report.
Exactly. Why do we need to keep changing names and come up with... They're like, how could we say this any more convoluted?
Yeah.
Oh, we could call it whatever. What was it?
UAP?
Unidentified anomalous phenomena, which doesn't even say unidentified flying object. Anomalous phenomena. That could be fucking anything at this point. It's not even an object.
Anomalous. What does that mean?
I think it's like it's just like an unknown. Let's see if I can spell that.
Unidentified unknown phenomenon.
Exactly.
So that could be just anything.
Anomalous. I don't think I spelled that right. Anomalous. Anomalous. Let's see if I did that right. Anomalous. All right. Deviating from the normal or common order, form, or rule. Equivocal as in classification or nature. What the fuck does that mean? Here, let's go right to that.
It's like abnormal, isn't it?
Of uncertain nature or classification. And what
so
was
that basically means unidentified.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Unidentified, inconsistent with or deviating from what is normal or expected phenomenon. So again, it's like all these terms that they do with everything. Like they changed what vaccine means. Like they changed the definition.
Yeah.
And originally they had unidentified flying objects. Then they called it something else. I don't remember. And now it's this. But my point with even bringing this up is that it could be anything at this point. With anomalous, they're just like it could be another country. It could be, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, so they're,
They've just changed the classification now to where it's just like, just like we don't know what that. It's just things we don't know. You know,
it could be like just a helicopter in a different shape that you never saw before. So
yeah,
like
we didn't.
What is that?
We didn't know what the balloon was doing over the United States. I mean, that's an anomalous phenomenon, unidentified anomalous phenomenon. There was a balloon, we don't know what the fuck, where it came from, or what it was doing, flying over.
Yep.
Like, that's why I don't trust their language, because it's just, they make it so that it's like, what they're like, we're gonna put all this information out. That means fucking bullshit. It means nothing.
It's a whole bunch of words, but they're saying nothing really.
Yeah, exactly.
But this is coming from NASA, is it? NASA.
Well, yeah. This is just what they call them now.
I don't. Do you? Okay, let me go back all the way to what is it? When did they supposedly land on the moon?
I don't know.
70 something.
Was it? I thought
60 or 70.
I want to say it was 60s.
Maybe 60s. Do you believe that?
Not really. How come we haven't gotten back? So you're telling me that in the 60s, when a computer that was this power, they probably didn't even have a computer this powerful. As powerful as the laptop sitting on my desk right now. Yeah. And it would have been the size of this fucking room.
Of a house, probably.
And they sent a spaceship to the moon that long ago. And now, with Elon Musk and all the shit that we have, we can't send something back there?
No. Did you see that? Didn't his rocket explode like a week back or two?
Yeah.
Like, it's ridiculous. I mean, I can recommend this to anyone watching and to you too. If you go to Patrick Bet-David's podcast, he had a dude on who was explaining why the moon landing is bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
And after I heard that, I was like, yeah, there's no way they landed on the moon. And that argument alone, that we never went back, that's enough. He was saying it too. He was like, give me one piece of technology that has moved backwards.
Yeah, that's true.
With time. There's not one. Like, everything progresses except the moon, the spaceships, and the moon technology.
I've got one.
Yeah.
Food.
Yeah, but that's intentional, right? They're trying to.
We definitely gone backwards with food.
Yeah, we definitely are, for sure. I saw that they're gonna kill 200,000 cows on Ireland for the climate. It's like what?
How and this is often, but they can't really believe that's the solution, dude. There's no fucking way
No.
There's no way
Of
anybody
course
believes
not.
that's the solution. And
Of course
all
not.
these green people too with the oxygen, like plant fucking trees, dude. We
Yeah.
don't need to come up with a filter. Nature's already made a filter.
Yeah. Yeah. Simple, man.
Um,
But yeah, the moon landing is probably bullshit. That's my opinion. I'm
yeah.
probably wrong, but
There's something
Yeah.
holding the flag up. If you look at the American flag, there's like
Yeah.
there's the pole and then there's a bar across that's holding
Yeah.
it up.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of different stuff that I've, heard or seen where it's like
Yeah, what's the guy's name who was supposedly
Buzz Aldrin.
maybe it's him, yeah, because I saw a video of
He
one
punched
of the
somebody in the
dudes.
face because they said it wasn't real.
Yeah, not only that, but I saw a video where a guy, like a journalist, was trying to he had a Bible with him
Uh-huh.
and he was asking the guy like
Oh
put
yeah,
your
to
hand on the
swear on
Bible
it.
and swear that you went to the moon, and he was refusing and he got mad and shit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I don't know, how hard is it? Like, if you went there, just say it.
Yeah.
Just swear on the Bible. Like, what's the big deal? Like, there's so many sketchy things on that, and that's one that I think we've forgotten.
What?
Like, if I say to most people that I know that the moon landing is bullshit, they will laugh at me.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird. I don't know, but that's the reason I don't trust NASA at all.
Here, I found it. Astronaut asked to swear on Bible.
Yeah.
So why don't you just put the into the record in the argument and put your hand on the Bible, swear to God you walked on the moon.
Mr. Several, knowing you, that's probably a fake Bible.
Well, you're talking to the wrong guy. Why don't
He won't do it because it's probably a fake
It's
Bible.
a fake Bible.
So what
If
is he
it's a
swearing to
fake
Satan
Bible,
that
then
he would?
what's the harm in doing it if it's a fake Bible? What does that matter?
Talk to the administrator at NASA. We're passengers. We're guys going on a flight.
I don't hit people, but you're going to be on the deck unless you get
I'm heading out. I appreciate it.
and get the hell out of the house.
Well, I hate your stuff and get the fuck out. Why don't you quote me and say it's bullshit?
I mean, the shadows in her uncle. I don't give a damn about all that shit.
You're the one who said you walked on the moon when you didn't. Calling the kettle black, if I ever thought of it. Saying I misrepresented myself.
Away from me.
You're a coward and a liar and a thief.
There you go. There's Buzz Aldrin punching him in the face.
You're a coward and a liar and a thief.
You want me to knock you in the head?
Well, I want you to swear to God on the Bible that you walked on the moon. If you walked on the moon, we're given the opportunity to swear to God that you walked on the moon.
I'm going to give you the opportunity to get the hell knocked out of you if you don't leave me alone.
Watching them lie through their teeth, carrying on a hoax that is so outrageous that they're beyond human. They couldn't cover it up. They were just too human.
Exactly. You can see on Neil Armstrong particularly, he doesn't want to lie.
Oh yeah, have you ever seen the footage when they very first came back?
No, but I heard someone talking about
Like the first interview they did when they came back is fucking weird, dude.
Yeah?
Yeah, they're all like, the one seems like something happened and they're just all like, it definitely seems, let's see.
Like nervous?
First interview. After moon landing. Apollo 11 news conference.
How will you be able to follow the activities during EVA? Will you have a visual monitor? And secondly, another question, could the EVA period be extended if everything goes real well?
Well, I have two different ways of listening to Neil and Buzz while they're in the LEM and also while they're out on the lunar surface.
See where they get to some of the other guys.
What will the
as command module pilot be doing while the commander and the LEM pilot are on the lunar surface? Will you be doing any special experiments?
Oh, this is before.
Anyways.
Yeah.
I think it's bullshit. So back to the aliens.
Yes, back to aliens. They didn't see any aliens. Imagine being an astronaut, right? And having to pretend, or like being an astronaut, and then having
This week in our
to
series.
pretend to that you did that forever. You would get mad too
That'd
if
be
somebody
crazy.
asked you, huh?
Yeah.
What do you feel
I
like
guess
for the rest
if
of
you
your
lie
life?
about it, if you lie about it long enough, you start to believe it, right? Maybe.
Do you feel like
probably
just
not.
a shitbag the rest of your life, just knowing that you just lied to everybody on the planet?
Yeah, probably. Probably.
You'd have to, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess you would. But you know what's weird though? You know when I heard this one on Joe Rogan, it's a dude who was talking about alien encounters, and he was talking about fuck, I wish I knew the name. It was something on a farm that he would find like cows dead and they've been eaten and there was no blood left and shit like that.
So yeah,
And
the cuts were even perfectly surgical. Like
Yeah,
there'd be a
yeah.
hole. Yeah, exactly. And there's no blood
Exactly.
lost or anything, and it'd just be like perfectly
Yeah.
cut out.
Yeah, and it's like I'm almost more inclined to believe a story like that than anything I hear from the mainstream
Yeah.
about this stuff. But it's I don't know. A lot of people are crazy, and if you look for it, like if that's your thing, like you want to, it's like the people looking for Bigfoot, you know.
Yes.
If you want to see it, you'll see it eventually, I think.
I'm trying to feel in fields, not butchered. What the hell would you call that?
What that story?
Yeah, they're not butchered.
I don't know.
They're
Maybe look for the Joe Rogan episode, JRE alien something.
oh yeah, here we'll do that. Killed by aliens.
Cows killed by aliens or what?
Yeah, that's what I looked. Mutilated cows. There you go.
This one's real. It's time for another edition of Conspiracy Theories. Tonight, let's go to Texas. 6 cows in 3 different counties that were found dead last week with body parts missing, no signs of blood loss. Even the grass around them appeared totally undisturbed. Now, some are suggesting it was the work of aliens. Similar stories have been reported for decades. The first was in 1975. So why do so many aliens have beef with cows? Joining me now to discuss, UFO Seeker's lead investigator, Tim Doyle.
This is what I need to know. Did they probe their anuses? Okay. We know they cut them open, but did they probe their anuses? Because this seems to be the big, you know.
Yeah, dude, that's why they call them astronauts.
Oh shit.
Next level. They
Next.
go to the moon to get probed.
Oh shit. They're real.
Yeah.
They're like, just being pegged at home isn't enough. They want to be pegged by a entity that they don't even know what it is. That way it's real danger.
Yeah. That's like a glory hole, but the opposite.
Yeah,
Like,
it's like
you don't
dudes.
see what's on the other side.
It's like dudes' rape fantasies, but they want to be by an alien.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wonder if they show us any pictures here of these
thanks so
cows.
much,
Of the
Kennedy.
cows?
So
I just got it going in the background. Let's see some pictures. Nope, just them talking. Like, if this is happening, why don't you just post a picture up?
Yeah.
We're not adult enough to...
That's
Here
the
we
thing, right? We don't have a single picture of anything that would be good evidence for aliens. on Earth, right?
I don't. Well, not that they're allowing us to have access to,
But
right?
why wouldn't they? Or why would they hide it? Or why?
Because, their thing is they don't want us to. Literally, all these articles, all these videos that I'm scanning through, they just say it, but there's no pictures of anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude. And this guy's got it says the 37th parallel on the back of his truck, the guy that's telling us this. Does that not sound sketchy as well? Like he was already into aliens before his cows got butchered?
But there's always a guy who's already into aliens who finds it, right?
Yeah, that's true, right? It's never
Yeah.
some random. I guess the original ones.
Yeah.
What was the family? I don't remember. The original people that reported in the U.S. at least reported UFOs. They didn't want to tell anybody. They thought everybody would think they were crazy. So
Yeah.
I believe that stuff. I believe the earlier ones more because those people didn't want to be labeled as crazy and they were embarrassed to even say anything. Now it's
Yeah.
like everybody just wants, you know what I mean, notoriety. So why wouldn't they be like, yeah,
Would you tell anyone? Imagine like you wake up at night and you see an alien in your backyard and
But
you don't film it. You don't get no pictures or anything. Would you tell people?
But again, this is now or this is in the 50s?
Well, either way. Like if
I
you don't
mean,
have photos
now,
of it, are you gonna
again,
tell anyone?
now for sure. Especially with stuff being, I mean, I guess I'm a bad person to ask because I say shit all the time that most people are like, that's totally,
Yeah.
uh, I just think society back then was more, worried about image and respect and
Yeah,
all
you
that
look
type
crazy.
of, exactly. And
Yeah.
now it's like, I already look crazy to people on many
Yeah.
instances, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
But so I would say, back then to come out, yeah, it's way more gnarly than it is now. But I would think that I would, like I said, now probably yes. Back then, maybe not.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot. Like back then, you would have a lot on the line. Like if people
Yeah,
think you're crazy, you're gonna be like a lone wolf for the rest of your life.
exactly.
Yeah.
Let's see, do they show it? Most replayed, but what does he say here?
Employees would gather near EG&G, fly to Groom Lake, then a very few people would get into a bus with blacked out or no windows and drive to S4.
When you get off the bus, what do you see?
It's a very interesting building. It's got a slope of probably about 30 degrees, which are hangar doors. And it has textured paint on it, but it looks like sand. It's made to look like the side of the mountain that it's in, whether it's to disguise it from satellite photographs or what.
He says he was never told exactly what he'd be working on, but figured it had something to do with advanced propulsion. On his first day, he was told to read a series of briefings and immediately realized how advanced the propulsion was.
The power source is an antimatter reactor. They run gravity amplifiers. There's actually two parts to the drive mechanism. It's a bizarre technology. There's no physical hookup between any of the systems in there. They use gravity as a wave, using waveguides, almost like microwaves.
It took a while, Lazar says, before he actually saw one of the flying discs. However, there were hints everywhere.
Right, they had a poster, and it looked like a commercial poster almost, like it was lithographed and you could buy it at a Kmart or something. But they were all over the place, and it had the disc that I coined the term the sport model was lifted off the ground about 3 feet at area S4 on the dry lake there, and the caption on the bottom said "They're here," and those are just all over the place.
Later, he got to see the real thing.
When I was let in, it was the first time I saw the sport model in the hangar sitting down, and I was told they could have walked me in the front door, but they purposely wanted to walk me by it. I was told not to say anything and just keep my eyes forward and walk past the disc into the office area. And I did, and as we went by it, I just kind of stuck my hands on it just to run it alongside the thing, and You know, that was about the smallest time. After that, I got to see it actually lift off the ground and operate.
But you also, in between that, you saw more than one.
Yeah.
So I've never actually watched this.
Me
This is
neither.
the first time I've ever seen any of this. And the fact that now he's saying he even saw him fly and stuff is crazy. I just thought he was just like, oh, we were in there and it was, you know what I mean? They had stuff.
Yeah.
But
Well, my question is, why is he? Because if they're trying to keep this a secret, and he's spilling all the stuff, right?
mm-hmm.
Why is he still alive? Isn't that weird?
Well, I think that they...
Not to say they should kill him.
Right.
I don't think that, but I think
mean,
they would.
If you followed patterns, you would definitely think they would kill him. But maybe at the time they didn't even feel that it was necessary, right? Because they're just like, paint this guy as crazy. Because that's all they did was just, they were like, he never worked there. There's no record of him here. Blah blah blah. The fact that he knew a bunch of people and knew the layout. So apparently at some point they took him back there. And when he showed up, he knew the code. And he walked through the building perfectly, like he knew where everything was.
Yeah.
But they just do what they do with everybody, you know, that they did with doctors and, you know, climate scientists and anybody that disagrees, they just go, oh, they're discredited, they're crazy, they're, you know, they don't know, they've never been involved, whatever. So it's the same thing they did with him. And they probably figured, like we were talking about back then, it was easy enough to prove, to be like, they're a liar and they're crazy and just discredit them.
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
I guess they wouldn't have to kill him then.
No, not back then. I think, you know, if he doesn't have, and he doesn't have footage or anything, it's not like he had footage inside the hangar of any of this or of pictures of alien bodies or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
All right,
Isn't it weird too? I heard that when most of the times when these like flying Tic Tacs, when they see them, is around nuclear weaponry.
Yeah, but that's what I was saying, you know, like even when they did the bombs. So I think that's what they're coming to be like, what are these idiots doing over here?
Yeah, they're gonna blow up the whole planet.
Yeah, the whole, not even
stop them.
Not even the planet. The whole. Do you think that, like, if they're in another dimension, okay, and unless they're like us in the other dimension waiting to be reborn into human bodies, why would they give a fuck what we did to the planet?
I don't know. But maybe our dimension and their dimension is connected.
Well, I think
if we fuck it up.
The dimensions, sure, but does that have anything to do with our planet? Do they care? There's got to be, are they visiting other planets that have life on it? You know what I mean? Like, we only know this planet, but if there's other dimensions and stuff that you're going to, does, like, this is my point.
Yeah,
like,
what does it matter?
Yeah. If we're here, like Americans, and this is, Americans here, unless it's put on TV and we're made to feel bad, don't give a shit about the hardships on the other side of the world.
Yeah,
or what they do to their, you know, environment.
Yeah.
So why would it be the same? Why wouldn't it be the same?
I don't know. Maybe they feed off of like and this is one I heard before too about like the reptilians and stuff. Like they feed off of that's why they don't just kill everybody or like fuck it up, because they feed off of the energy, and in that case I think they feed off of like sadness, basically. Like not sad, like the energy of like bad energy.
We need happy aliens.
Yeah, we need happy aliens. Yeah.
They're like, we need you guys to be happy so that we can have a happy life.
Yeah.
Why would they want? So they're basically. So what you're saying is that our lizard people government is basically the aliens, and that's why they drink adrenochrome and stuff like that.
That's what I hear, and that's why they're attacking the children.
Right.
With all the stuff, because that is what causes the most pain. and they
So,
feed off of pain.
do you know what adrenochrome is?
No, I've heard the word, but I'm not sure.
Okay, so it's basically, and this ties in really tightly to what you're saying. So they say that the elites drink adrenochrome, which is basically where you take little kids and torture them. So there's all this adrenaline running through their system. Then you pull their blood and drink the blood.
See, this is what I've heard. I think David Icke talks about this. And
So if they're doing that on a global level,
yeah,
then the whole world is negative.
Mm-hmm.
And then they can feed off of that energy and then, torture kids or whatever.
Yeah. But that's because I was asking, like, if it is like a different dimension they can travel back and forth to or something, and let's say the reptilian, why don't they? Because people say, oh, they want to depopulate the planet and stuff like that. I'm like, why don't they just kill everybody? Like, it would be easy for them if they're that powerful. But then someone said that, yeah, they're feeding off of negative energy, and especially because children are innocent, right? So it's like the worst type of pain if you torture children, or the negative feelings that we have when something happens to children is like the most impactful negative feeling.
Do you know about, or have you heard about, like, the ages of, like, the planet, like gold age, silver, bronze,
Stone Age?
Well, no, I guess it could have been involved in there.
Yeah.
But it's basically just like a golden age or a golden era is where the world is basically very prosperous. Everybody's happy. Everybody's working together with nature or whatever. And then like it goes like gold, silver, bronze, and then it's like bronze, silver, gold, so it takes a while to
like
work.
a circle.
Yeah, and it takes a while to like tens of thousands of years or whatever to work through each one of these. I'm not sure exactly what the timeline is, allegedly. But I feel like we're just in Bronze Age, where we're being super negative to the planet as far as just like we're not working with it. We're making all these plastics and chemicals to spray shit instead of just using natural stuff. And then also along with that, everybody's feelings, like, wouldn't you say that globally probably there's more fear right now and more people are like watching for their money and like being protective versus everybody being like happy with each other and like optimistic. So it's like the whole planet as a whole has a negative feeling right now, and like takes you a long time to get through it to get to back to the good prosperous times.
Yeah, I'd say so. It seems about right, and we're very, very divided in everything, really.
And why wouldn't we think that everybody's collective feelings would some way affect, you know what I mean, everybody else, or just the
I think so.
feelings of or environment in general? Because now you're just being like, there's just fear everywhere, so it just compounds. And as much as we don't think that we're all, like one big being, and well, we all know, like, plants, right? If you talk negatively to plants, they don't grow as well. If you if you play music and talk happy to plants, then they grow better. And it's just those positive or negative vibrations are going to, get into everything.
Yeah.
I don't know what that has to do with aliens right now, but
no, but it's interesting to think that way, because you're right, man. I feel like the energy in general right now in the last, let's say, maybe 7 years has been very negative.
Very negative.
Very negative. I guess ever since Trump came in, it escalated quickly to a divisive, like, negative energy.
Well,
and then they just keep feeding it on purpose.
Well, and that would make sense, right? And I don't think any one person is the end all be all greatest, like, gonna save us or whatever. But with the Trump thing, they are pushing There's been a lot of shitty presidents that have done a lot of crappy things, and they never went after them as hard as they're going after him.
No, never. And I don't know. This is just my opinion, but I don't think he's the worst one.
No.
Like by far, he's probably better than a lot of them.
Well, that's the problem, is he's better, I think, only in this because he's not so ingrained in the already built up system.
Yeah.
Which is basically, you know, the why he's being attacked so much, right? If you have this system that everybody's going along with, both sides, and now all of a sudden you have somebody come out that's not in one of those sides and going to be just, and like I said, let's say he's not a perfect person, okay? We know that. And he's done shitty things or whatever. And no matter how shitty he is, it doesn't matter, or how good he is, it doesn't matter, because he's diametrically opposed to the system we have in place right now, which automatically makes him the enemy, and they're going to try and make him look as bad as possible and get everybody to hate him, which is why they're dividing.
Yeah.
You know, and I even said, it's like anybody that comes out that's not going to be, because everybody here was like, oh, Trump this and that. And I'm like, listen, any person that the Republicans, which, you know, I think they're still part of the same bird, but, or like independents, right? Or what do we call it? Not whatever, the independent party. What is it? Libertarian.
Yeah, look at it.
They just shit on those people all the time, right? And that's probably the party that's actually for people, that actually wants to help the people, and that's why they don't give them any time in debates, and they don't, you know what I mean? Even let them, like when you go to vote, the independent guy or libertarian is not on your sheet most of the time.
Yeah.
You know, like.
Yeah. What I wonder though is if Trump, why did they let him win?
I don't think
that's what's so weird to me. It's like, and looking back, because now we're past it, it was actually kind of smart if they did, because he divided the country.
See, but I don't think he did. They divided their country with their rhetoric about him.
Yeah, but they couldn't do that with like Obama.
No, that's true. I think
so they put him there so that they could do that.
See, I don't think that it was. I think that they thought, because every single poll leading into that was like, Hillary's going to win. There's no way Trump can win. Yeah. I think that they thought they had the polls rigged well enough for her to win, and she just didn't because of the sheer amount of votes that Trump probably got. And then they were like, fuck. And then it happened to work. Like, I think a lot of these things, people go, oh, they have this plan for whatever. And it's like, they think that these people plan this stuff out 20 years in advance, and then it all comes to fruition. And I don't think it's like that. I think originally the plan was, we're going to not let him get into office. Then he got into office, and then they're just like, well, this is a perfect opportunity to shit on him the whole time, you know, and make it the people more divided. So I think it's more like an opportunist thing than them being like, we're going to let him win so that we can do all this stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
I don't know.
All right.
I don't trust any politicians, but I think he looks way better than Slippery Joe. Did you see he fell again? That dude can't even walk.
It's not even the same guy. How did they find a clone with also dementia?
I don't know.
Like, what the fuck? They got another guy and then shot him with dementia or something. They injected dementia into him because they're like, he can't be too studious and have people think it's Biden.
Yeah. Dude, did we talk about Michelle Obama?
No, but I sent you that thing about her
voter
registration.
Mike Obama. Dude, it's so funny. Because the pictures, when you look at that dude Mike or whatever his name was, who's Obama's like best friend.
Yeah.
He looks exactly like her.
And where did he go?
If you transition from a dude to a woman, that is exactly what he would have looked like.
It's not a bad
Exactly.
transition job, to tell you the truth.
No, it's fantastic. I mean, it's probably the best one yet.
Yeah, because nobody even knew for a
Yeah.
long time.
Yeah.
So who the hell was like, I know who it was. And we had talked about her, Joan Rivers. She was like, "Oh, we already have our first gay president."
Oh, yeah. Yeah, of course. Of course.
All right, let me
Yeah.
play a little bit more of Lazar here, talking about what he saw.
All connected together, and there were large bay doors between each one. And there were 9 total that I saw, each one being different. Like they had the assortment pack.
Security at S4 was oppressive, Lazar says, and his superiors used fear and intimidation almost as a brainwashing tool.
It did everything but physically hurt me.
Put a gun to your head?
Yeah.
And said what? Actually put a gun to your head?
Well, they did that even in the original security briefings. They had guards there with M16s, and guys slamming their finger into my chest, screaming in my ear, some people pointing weapons at me. Like I said, it's not a good place to work.
That fear factor would surface later. Lazar agreed to undergo a polygraph exam as part of this report. Polygrapher Ron Slay asked about the technology Lazar had seen.
Did you knowingly lie when you said you had actually seen anti-gravity propulsion in operation?
No.
The results of this exam were inconclusive. Lazar appeared to be truthful on one test, deceitful on a second. Slay recommended that a second examiner be brought in. Polygrapher Terry Tavernetti runs a corporate security operation and is a former Los Angeles police officer. He put Lazar through 4 tests and concluded there was no attempt to deceive.
And I left there thinking that I feel we do have some credibility to what the subject had to say. And that's when I went to some of my colleagues.
Tavernetti sent the test results to a third polygrapher who agreed the results appeared truthful. The charts were then sent to a 4th examiner who did not agree, suggesting Lazar might be relating information he'd learned from someone else.
He was hired by the government, the 4th one.
Yeah, for sure.
The polygraphers conferred and decided they would not issue a final statement on truthfulness until more specific testing can be conducted, and that's where it stands. Tavernetti believes that difficulty in determining Lazar's truthfulness stems from the fear that was drilled into him.
I think we're talking about a subject here that is so far-reaching, and it is so emotional. And when you're dealing with emotions, this is polygraph, because in polygraph, you're looking at fear. The fear of getting caught telling a lie because something bad will happen to you if you do.
Well, I am telling the truth. I've tried to prove that. What's going on up there could be the most important event in history. You're talking about contact, physical contact and proof from another system, another planet, another intelligence. That's got to be the biggest event in history, period.
And it's real.
And it's real and it's there. And I had an extremely small part in it, but I'm convinced that what I saw is absolute proof of that. There is no way we could have created those systems. There's no way we could have made the disks, the power supplies, anything to go with them.
Lazar says he has no intention of going on any UFO.
Well, there you go.
Bob Lazar.
Yeah. Why would you do that if he wasn't? Like, why would he just make that up and then basically ruin his credibility in life?
I don't know. Maybe he works for the government and it was intended to be a distraction for something else.
Damn it, Rasmus.
I go back to that all the time.
That's what the problem is with all this stuff is like psyops.
Yeah.
You know,
the only thing that makes him credible, not the only thing, but one of the things is that, like Rogan said, he's been telling the exact same story for like decades. He doesn't change a single thing.
Yeah. And the fact that he knew the whole layout, he knew people in there, like.
Yeah.
But that's why it's hilarious that they're just like, oh, whistleblower comes out and says, why do we need a whistleblower? Why don't they just make an announcement? This is the thing. Even whatever it was, a year or two ago, they were like, UFOs are real. And now there's a whistleblower on the thing that they already said was real. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Could it just be clickbait though?
Well, but why? So what are we being distracted from? How about, do you know about
How
all the...
about they're trying to fuck up the food supplies and lock us up? Like, I saw that it was just yesterday or today, the WHO are like they're putting into law that they can control basically every country on the planet if there's a pandemic again. So then Sweden wouldn't be able to do what we did the last time.
Well, that's because you
maybe
can't...
that's...
Yeah, because you can't have you guys do that and then have evidence that it was better.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, this is my theory on why they're doing mRNA shots for animals, for livestock.
Yeah.
And now they can put no antibiotics on it when they're giving them that stuff, which will be transferred to us. So that's my whole thing, is that if they're shooting the animals with this stuff, so that way there's no direct tie-in between the vaccines and all the negative side effects. Because that was the whole thing with giving the vaccines to everybody. Then you don't have a control group of people that didn't get it, that you can go, oh, they're still fine. You know, if everybody gets it, then you can't, you know, you're never going to prove that that's causing anything. So it's the same way if you're putting it into people through the food, it's still like now everybody just has heart disease at 30, and it's because of climate change.
Of course, it's because of cows farting.
Yeah.
It's
What about
deadly.
All these vegans eating broccoli and farting their asses off? Is that not a problem?
It must be.
Human farts
if you
are fine.
Only beans and soy and
Exactly.
shit, my ass would be torn up.
Exactly. Even broccoli is very gaseous.
Yeah. Yeah. Dude, you should listen. I actually released it today, my last episode on my show with Dr. Judith Curry. She's a climatologist for like 30, 40 years. And she was talking on this. And a good point that she was making is like, even if, because they agree that the planet is warming a little bit, but like, why is that bad? And no one can answer. Like, why is that so bad?
Well,
it's not.
well, we were told that it's bad because the ice caps are going to melt, and then Florida and California are going to fall off into the water because they're going to get covered up.
Oh yeah, stupidity. She touched on that too. She was saying that the places who are most likely to be impacted by the sea level are places that are actually sinking. It's not the water that gets that comes up. It's the places that are sinking.
Yeah, it's like soft, like the end of Florida where it's just basically a sandbar.
Yeah, and it's also like land use. Like for example, what country is Jakarta in?
I don't know.
Or is that a country?
Maybe.
Fuck, I don't know. Either way, they moved the capital to a different city because the capital was sinking into the ocean. Because they built, like, first of all, they take the groundwater out, too much of it. So the soil becomes very fucked up. And then they build way too much.
Yeah.
In a small area. So the weight is just pushing the earth down, I guess. And that's the most places where it's like a danger.
Well, that's like what the hell am I thinking of? The Venice, Italy.
Oh, in Italy?
Yeah. Bro, they built that thing in the water.
Yeah. Yeah. The whole city. I've been there. The whole city is in the water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What the hell were they thinking?
I don't know. The climate shit is hilarious because there's so many things that are so easily. It's so easy to point out the flaws.
Yeah.
In some of these things.
Well, just the fact that they go, there are all these civilizations underwater. There is, it's like, what happened then? They know that Egypt used to be, like tropical. What happened then? I mean, this is the point: is the Earth is changing. It always
Yeah,
has
always.
changed. You
Yeah.
always have had species disappear, plants, animals, and the Earth fluctuates. Like,
Yeah.
it's again just a way to get everybody scared. You know, I wish we could get a little more global warming because it's been cold as fuck at night here.
Yeah, here too, man.
I had to ride. So we had an issue with Bethany's car, so she took my truck to work, and I had to ride the Sportster like an hour through traffic to work, and it was cold as fuck, dude. I was like
Yeah.
looking for some global warming that morning so I could not be so cold.
Yeah, dude, we have about, like I've always said it, I wish we could have one less month of winter and one more month of summer
Yeah.
in Sweden. So I'm happy it's warming. It's perfect.
That's basically down south. So I used to live in Georgia, and I tell people that, so like the 2 hottest weeks in New Jersey, where everybody's like, we can't even go outside, is basically Georgia's summer. The whole summer is like that. Then Georgia's worst 2 weeks of winter, where it's frozen, they get a little bit of, well, they barely get snow ever, but where it's really cold, below freezing or whatever, they get 2 weeks of that, and that's basically New Jersey's entire winter. Like, so they're they're swapped. Like, your extremes are, it's still there, but it's just like not as long in either one.
Yeah.
I was more a fan of Georgia, where it's hot more.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I used to live in Australia.
It's probably hot as fuck.
Hot as fuck, but it's actually kind of nice because even in their wintertime, daytime is really nice.
Yeah, that's how Georgia is. I could
But then
ride.
Nighttime is cold.
I was gonna say that because it's not humid. It's so dry that it gets cold really bad at night. That's the thing with like Florida and down south. It's so humid that even at night the air is just hot. You're just t-shirt and shorts all evening. It doesn't make a difference. New Jersey here, middle of August, you better have some pants and a hoodie with you in case it gets cold as shit at night.
Oh yeah.
Even like I said, middle of the hottest month, you'll still get like nights where it's pretty, you still need to put a hoodie on or something. And down south, it's not like that. You just run your shorts and tank top all night.
Yeah. Dude, like this whole thing with the global warming, have you seen the hockey stick graph?
No.
So the IPCC, I'll actually send it to you, so you can pull it up.
I just look at that IPCC.
No, I have a link. I'll send it to you.
Okay.
So they show. So this is the problem with the whole climate change thing. If you look at like a specific period of time, if you look like from the 50s to now, it looks like it's like this. The hockey stick graph. It looks like this. It's a straight line, and then it goes up.
Yeah.
So it looks like a major change came, and we're heading for a catastrophe. But if you just put it on a longer time scale, it's like completely different.
Yeah.
Hold on. So how do I send you this? I'll send you an email.
Just do it on oh yeah, you could do that.
Can I send it? Is there a chat?
Either way.
Okay, I'll put it on the chat. There you go.
What chat did you? Okay, I got it.
On Zoom, yeah. And if you roll down to like page 4 or 5, I think it is. Oh no, 6.
5, 6. All right. Hold on, let me switch our feed here. How come it's not pulling it up? That's weird. It's not pulling it up on our feed here.
No?
Hold on. I need to fix the screen capture. Ovation Pro, I don't even know what that is. Alright, yeah, it's not switching to this, Oh, I know why.
You got it?
I'm going to in a second here. Alright. Very good. Okay.
There's two graphs.
Mhm.
Michael Mann's version and then Tim Ball, Hubert Lamb's version.
Are they the same? No, so one starts at 100, or sorry, 900. I guess that's BC and goes to 2000.
Yeah, and the other one's from 1960 to 1990, which is the one they've been showing us on TV. Is the hockey stick graph.
Yeah.
Well, if you look at the one underneath,
Yeah.
over 1,000 years, if you look at that, we're not even close to like the hottest it's been.
Yeah, 2000. 1200. It
Yeah.
was way hotter, up to 10 Celsius. I don't know what that means.
That's like, well, 10 degrees Celsius. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit.
Is it hot?
No, but it's not freezing. So 0 is freezing. 10 is like, hold on, I'll just 10 Celsius to Fahrenheit. So 10 degrees Fahrenheit is 50 degrees Celsius. 10 degrees Celsius is 50 degrees Fahrenheit.
All right. The current increase in CO2 levels in the last 100 years is an after effect of the medieval warm period. This took place around 500 to 800 years ago and was warmer than our current period, despite having fewer people burning fewer fossil fuels, by about 1 degree worldwide, or at least 2 degrees in parts of temperate zones. Temperate zones. It was a period of economic boom for most of Europe, where crops grew faster, etc. But most importantly, it was the heating during that period which has been driving the rising CO2 in the atmosphere over the last 100 years or so. This tail-wagging dog problem is known to climate scientists. Their response is something like, yes, but the CO2 that comes off after temperatures go up then makes it warm, extra warm. This assumes what it's trying to show, that CO2 has warming powers, and means there would have to be another peak or raising of temperatures after the peak or the top level in CO2. That is not observed. I don't know, that was very technical.
Yeah, it's a bit complex, but I think the graph just speaks for itself. It's just the time, like they play with timelines.
Yeah.
It's like me saying that instead of measuring my whole life, I just measure 1 week and then say, oh, in the last week, I've been,
getting worse.
Yeah, like it's just if you they cherry pick everything. Yeah. And yeah, I don't know. I wonder what the aliens would think about global warming.
They know. They're like, hey,
they're causing it.
Stop spreading shit into the air.
Yeah.
Dude, so do you know about the fires going on in Canada?
No.
Okay, so there's wildfires in Canada, but New York and New Jersey is fucking covered in smoke.
Really?
Yeah. How does that make fucking sense?
What do you mean? Where you live?
Yeah. Covered, dude. Yesterday was like the last 2 days. I'm down at work, like by the city, and you can literally watch the smoke roll in. If you go online, you can find tons of. The sun was red all day. because it never poked through.
Really?
Yeah.
And
And this
where
is
are the fires like close to the
fuck
border?
no. They're the middle of Canada.
So that's way far away.
Yeah. I don't know that I don't know that I believe. Yeah, Central Canada wildfires. And it's smoked. And look, oh, you probably can't see it, but there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. It looks like there's 24 places that are on fire. Sorry, 25, 26. How did so many fires start at once? How did 26 wildfires start at once?
I'll give you two answers to that question. If it's been really, really dry,
Yeah.
sure, you get wildfires, right?
26?
And I don't know, maybe. That's what they would probably say, right? Because
Yeah.
of global warming,
Yeah.
that's where you get wildfires. The other answer I'll give you is that they pay some dude with a bunch of matches to, make a bonfire in the woods, like they have done in France, like they've done in Australia, like they've done in Brazil.
Well,
in the Amazon.
California.
California, yeah.
Do you remember when there was was it last year or the year before they had wildfires? Like dozens of wildfires? Okay, if one wildfire starts, okay. Why are there multiple all over the place if it's just
I don't know.
I got pictures of it up now in New York. You can't even see the buildings, basically. This is from New Jersey.
But so that means that the smoke must be covering all the way from New York. Is there like can you look at footage from New York like all the way and follow it to Canada?
So I did find where the hell was that thing I just had? Oh, it was right here. No. Like that's what I want. Like, how do we see a? How do we see?
Dude, that's fucking super sketchy. We had a wildfire here, like it's a few years back, maybe 8 years back, and it's only a 2-hour drive from where I was at, and there was no smoke where I was.
Dude,
that's only 2-hour drive. Like it's not even far.
And this picture that I'm looking at, depending on the way that it's situated, the smoke looks like it's going west. It doesn't even look like it's coming east. I just have a very hard time believing that smoke from that far away has totally blanketed us like this.
That sounds to me like that there was a fucking volcanic eruption or something.
Well, how about
Like,
now I'm going to get real conspiratorial on you.
yes, please do.
Now, well, I mean, it's two conflicting theories. But I know that when they burnt the stuff in Ohio for that train derailment, people that monitored the air were like, the air on the East Coast is bad. But you couldn't see the smoke. That stuff was in the air, but it wasn't smoky. Like, how you're telling me that this smoke hasn't dissipated in like 400 miles?
Yeah.
There's this much smoke. I feel like if you're in Canada, if it's this smoky here, can Canada even see? They shouldn't even be able to drive.
Exactly. It should be shut down. Like
Shut down because you can't even see like 100 yards in front of your face.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's almost like saying, let's say your neighbor has like a bonfire going in his backyard, but then like everyone who lives within 5 blocks gets the smoke.
Exactly.
That doesn't happen.
It does not happen. Here
That's
you go.
weird, man.
See satellite view of the wildfires. Can we? Yeah, I'll send this to you. Quebec. So how fucking far is Quebec from here? Oh, I guess it's...
Is that the
yeah.
closest fire?
So the way that this even... I mean, I guess that's over in New York, so that kind of makes sense, but...
Like, how far is it between the fires in New York?
Let me look.
What's up, Ryan? You guys should do an episode on geoengineering. Yeah, we should. We should.
Ryan, we're going to record... No, this is flights. We're going to record a first Free Thinkers Back tonight. I'm going to go down to the dojo, and we're going to record this evening. Can I drive from New York to Quebec? Yes. How many miles is it? 519 miles.
Fuck, that sounds like a long ride.
Bro.
How much is that? Hold on, I'm gonna check. 519
Oh, dude, it's
miles.
probably like 1,000 kilometers.
That's 83 miles, Swedish miles, which would take me at least, if I'm going at 60 miles an hour, it would take me at least 10 hours to get there.
Yeah.
Fuck.
And we're covered, dude.
That is crazy. I guess it would depend on how big the fire is, but I mean...
I still don't, like... So you're saying that this is basically equivalent to like one of those volcanoes erupting or something?
Sounds like it.
You know what I mean?
Like, let's go with your thing though. So if it's bullshit, right? Where the fuck is the smoke coming from? And why?
Well, okay, so if you say these fires are going on, right? But then they wanted to fumigate the fuck out of us. We don't know.
In order to what? To just poison you?
I mean, I don't know. Why did they light this shit on fire from the train derailment? Why are they spraying aluminum in the sky normally with the chemtrails? You know what I mean? Why is there fluoride in our water? Why are they prescribing everybody with antidepressants and birth control? And you know what I mean? I don't know,
Yeah.
but it doesn't seem, it's like very, they could for sure, dude, they could for sure say there's all these fires, that's where the smokes come, and then release it from somewhere else, smoke, you know what I mean? Somewhere else, and just fumigate everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you think, because I've been looking at like, isn't that geoengineering, how they create clouds and make it rain and stuff like that? I wonder if they can do the opposite, if they could just make it dry as fuck. Because ever since we had some good weather here, we haven't had rain now in like at least 2 or 3 weeks, and it looks like it's gonna keep going like that. So I bet you we're gonna have some wildfires too, and then they're gonna say it's global warming, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's weird, man.
It is very weird. I have a joke that I've been doing where I'm like, the people that control the weather need to talk to the people that are reporting the weather.
Yeah.
And I'm like, they're probably owned by the same people anyway. Like, fucking, why don't you just tell them?
Yeah. You want to hear something else funny I heard? I think it's in the UK. I think this week or something is like Health Week in the UK. And it's sponsored by Coca-Cola, Kellogg's, and a bunch of other like companies like that. I don't understand how people buy this shit still,
dude.
Because even people who are like normal people, if you ask them like, "Hey, is Coca-Cola good for you?" They'd be like, "No." Like everyone knows Coca-Cola is bad for you.
They're running on the premise, and I did this as well when I was younger. They're running on the premise that the government and these companies would not do something that was that detrimental to people's health.
Yeah. Naive.
Yeah. Like
Yeah,
just
so naive.
trusting that everybody has your best interest in mind and that they're not. Because you really, and I say this all the time, because you really have two ways to go, right? Either they're really dumb or negligent, or it's on purpose.
Yeah,
There's
no, I'd say
really
the latter.
no in between there.
No.
So you can't, a normal person being, most people are not malicious, right? So most people aren't like trying to actively hurt people. So we don't understand, like that's how I am. I'm not trying to seeking out to like screw with people or whatever or hurt them.
Mm-hmm.
So to think that somebody would do that is such a foreign thought to me that I'm like, that can't be, you know what I mean? That's like rational right off the bat. But then I'm like,
Yeah.
obviously something is going on. But
Well, it's like it's like that until it gets so obvious that you can't ignore it anymore.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then
But
you're like,
also,
oh my God.
yeah, but like this is the most annoying thing about society and the way we follow shit. If you just look at where it's taken us, and you can't figure out that like let's assume that most people follow authorities and follow the recommendations from government. I think that's a reasonable assumption, right?
For sure.
So that's the average. That's the normal. And if you look at average today, they're all unhealthy. Average is fat today.
Yeah.
So what does that tell you?
And on pills. Most people
on
over...
pills. Mental health is shit.
Yeah.
Physical health is shit.
Bethany's dad is probably 70 something. He's not on any pills, and his doctor was just blown away.
That is crazy.
Because like you said, the average is people obese on some kind of medication for their blood pressure or psyche, you know, at least.
But I guess it's like either you follow what everyone else does or you follow what actually works.
Yeah, but if you but it's getting to a point like I was talking about with the shots and all that, and the MNRA and the food, where if enough people experience it, then it's normal. Yeah. And that's what they're trying to do with the mental shift of all these fat people in Gatorade commercials and on this and that. You know, they're just like, this is normal now. This is normal. We now have fat mannequins in stores.
Like, yeah, we have it too. Not super fat, but like, chubby.
Yeah. But it's like, this is not normal. And that's all they're trying to do is normalize it. So now everybody... Like, they're really trying to push everybody into just buy our fake foods, buy our fake drugs to mitigate the things that our fake food is doing to you. And this is just normal life now.
Yeah. Dude, I'm going to tell you a short story. So I've talked about this dude before, I think. I'm not going to mention his name. Is a good friend of mine. But he's really fat. His wife is really fat. He's been fat and unhealthy for a long time, and he's not one of these people who like blame other things. Like he knows what he's supposed to do. He's just too lazy to do it. And I've tried to help him before, but he's just like, no, I'm not going to do it. And I'm like, cool, fine. We went to his house this last weekend. We stayed 2 nights with his kids. He's got an 8-year-old and a 6-year-old. I was shocked for many different reasons, but like his kids. So him and his wife wants to sleep in on weekends. So his kids wake up at like 6. They're on the iPad or the TV from 6 to like 9 when they wake up and they have breakfast. Over the whole weekend, to be honest, especially the young one, was on the TV or the iPad like 100% of the time we spent in the house.
Yeah.
And not only that, she's 6. She's watching TikTok videos she was watching. So even my wife, who's not like, she's not like me, like suspicious of everything.
Uh-huh.
She saw what she was watching, which was like a YouTube thing, uh, where there's just a picture of a mouth eating shit.
Uh-huh.
And she was like, it was almost pornographic. It was like disturbing.
Yeah, ASMR or whatever.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know what it is, but like, so my wife reacted to that shit. And I was just thinking to myself, I was like, this is fucking horrible. These kids are on this, and it's also like, okay, if you want to keep your kids on the TV, but don't you like put any rules to what they're allowed to watch?
Or parental whatever on the device itself.
Exactly. And then after all this, like, there's way more shit than that, but I'm not gonna go into all the details. At night, they're gonna put the kids to bed.
They give them the iPad so that they can go to sleep.
No, they put like an audio book on, like for kids, which is like, yeah, sure, whatever. It's like a radio program or like an audio book, you know, for kids. But I'm in the kitchen and my boy comes down and he's like, he's bringing them water to keep next to the bed, and he opens what was it called? Like a fucking a cabinet?
Cabinet, yeah.
Cabinet, yeah. He takes out a box of pills. He takes out a pill, he opens it, and he pours the shit into the water. Like, not a lot of it, but still a little bit. And I was like, what is that for? He's like, for the kids. And I'm like, what is it? And he goes, it's melatonin. So they fall asleep faster.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait, what? Do they know that they're getting this? He's like, nah. And his reasoning for this was like, oh, it takes me like 3 hours to get them to, like 2-3 hours for them to fall asleep if I don't. So I started like slipping them melatonin in the water. And I've read about this a little bit before. If you're on a screen all day, and especially at nighttime, it fucks with your melatonin production. That's why they can't fall asleep.
Yeah.
So now you're giving them melatonin.
So now their body's probably shut down, making it all together.
Yeah, I mean, they're probably going to stop making it, or at least to a good enough level where they can fall asleep. So you're creating this vicious cycle where they're never going to sleep without it now. Instead of looking at the actual problem. And this same person, this is like, I was trying to get into the mindset of a normal human being who's like, I showed him a video of I think you've seen it. It's like a transgender 12-year-old boy who's like dancing very provocatively in front of adults.
No, I haven't.
And they're all clapping and throwing money at him. And I showed him this video and he was like, yeah, I would have clapped, I guess. He's good at dancing. And I was like, oh shit. This is what the normal person thinks like. They are so fucking blind to it that they're just like, yeah, he's good at dancing. Yeah.
So unfortunately, and I have somebody that I'm fairly close with that's the same way. They're NPCs, non-playable characters. Like,
yeah,
they just, whatever the thing is, they just take it in and they go, well, that's how it is. I was down there and we were talking about, this was a while ago, and I said, New York City, I go, you can't even go, he just calls me a conspiracy theorist, but I'm like, I go, you can't even go into New York right now without having a vaccine. He goes, who cares? I don't want to go to New York. I go, that's not the fucking point. I go, your kids will never be able, might not ever be able to go. Like, you don't think it's weird that all of a sudden you cannot enter the state across the river? You don't have a problem with that?
Yeah, but see, that's the thing. He doesn't have a problem with it. Wait until like they shut down the thing that you like to go to.
Well, that's what censorship. I argued with people on Facebook about censorship. They're going, they should be shut. I said, eventually they're going to get to you and silence you. Well, I'll be fine without Facebook. And I said, you don't fucking get it, do you? I said, if
No.
just like all these shots and shit, and all the people that are like, I've had an issue with this. My family has had an issue with this. Now you just get silenced, and now what your story, your truth isn't getting out there to anybody. And that's detrimental. Whether you want to pretend like it's just superficial or not, it's not. It's they're changing reality as far as what you're exposed to and what you're hearing about. That's not good. And the people that just accept all that, and I've said this a million times, I think that's why they do the Facebook jail. So that you get used to having access to shit turned off on you for something that you said or posted. And eventually it's going to be your bank account.
Yeah, that's the end goal. And also, like, if you look at the media, right? If you look in Sweden, for example, everybody here, and I don't have an opinion on it. I don't know shit about it. Everyone here is like, fuck Putin.
They're like that
they're
here
all
too.
Ukraine. Ukraine is, we've got to help the Ukraine. Fuck Russia. Fuck Putin. All this shit. And I'm like, you read that on the newspaper. What do you think the newspapers in Russia say?
Well, here was my...
Why are we right and they're wrong?
As soon as this started going, the Ukraine thing, I was suspicious because they literally went, the news stations, Fox and CNN, all right, which are diametrically opposed, right?
Yeah.
Went from, they're fighting, and then it's like, COVID, we agree on that. And I'm like, okay. Then it's like, vaccines, we agree on that. And then they literally switched from pushing COVID and vaccines to the following day, Ukraine. And I'm like, wait, both of these, they just totally just switched direction and both headed in that same way. And I'm going, I go, what's the deal with the Ukraine war? And even my fiance was like, no, it's really going on. My friend she's Ukrainian. She still has family there and it's a war or whatever. And I go, yeah. But why all of a sudden are we on this bandwagon? And I say, you don't realize that both of these stations that hate each other all of a sudden just switched direction from vaccines to this, like within a day. And I'm like, what's the underlying, what's actually going on here? And it's taken a while, but now it's like, well, it was also suspicious that Hunter Biden worked for a company in fucking Ukraine. And then his dad had some kind of ties. And then we're finding out now more and more bad shit that they've been doing. So it's like, as soon as all of the media is collectively on this one thing, I don't trust it at all. It's propaganda.
Yeah.
Ryan...
And on that NPC shit too. This, to go back to my friend, and the vaccines, because obviously he took the jabs and all that. And when I was there at that time, just after he had taken them, we were talking about it, and I was expressing my opinion, and I don't push anything on anyone. I was just asking questions, and he goes, "Well, I just follow recommendations from the government." And I'll go, "No, you're not. Only on this particular issue. Like, they also recommend you work out 3 times a week. You're fatter than fuck. What do you mean? You follow recommendations. You only follow this one because it looks like it's an easy, they made it look like you take a shot and then you're healthy."
Yeah, that's true too. Right? Because what's the alternative is actually work.
Exactly. It's because you're lazy. You follow the recommendations that you like because you don't have to work for it.
Yeah.
It's just, it's brain dead to me. I don't know.
Yeah, they just, like I said, everybody's looking for somebody to take care of them. Religious people are waiting for God to show up and show them the way. And then other people are waiting for the government to show up and show them the way. And unfortunately, nobody's actually going to show up and show you any way.
Yeah. You got to pave your own.
Yeah. And even like, okay, the thing with, like, religion, I get it. There's a lot of good things in all the books, you know?
Yeah.
But it's like, ultimately, you still need to put action into making sure you have a garden or whatever. And that's the issue is people, you know, like you said, are just waiting, you know, they want the quick fix to just take care of all of it. Somebody's going to show up to give me an answer. and
Yeah.
then it'll be easy. But unfortunately, that's not the way life works at
Yeah.
all. Ryan, we started out talking about the alien talk and not necessarily Project Blue Beam specifically, but we were talking about how, like, it's weird that they're like, Whistleblower comes out and says all this stuff that we've basically known since the 40s, and it's like, this is actually how we got into the people just following stuff, because it's like, what are they misdirecting us from? Because what's actually going on, which is also how we got into the wildfires, right? If instead of being like, there's no way all this smoke could make it 500 miles down from Canada, we're worried about aliens and just like, oh, the smoke is the smoke. So we just think that the releasing of alien knowledge is just basically them, distracting us from whatever the hell it is that they're doing now.
Isn't it fun on the alien thing? Isn't it weird? Like when I was a kid and people talked about aliens, I've always thought of it as if that ever happened, that would be on, like people would go home from work to watch the news.
Right.
Like the world would stop if you were like, there's a UFO, we saw it 10 minutes ago in Minnesota, wherever the fuck you are. The world would stop and everyone would be just like 9/11, right?
Yeah.
That would be like a wow moment. But today, so many crazy things are happening all the time that like I didn't even react when I read it. Oh, they're admitting it. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nothing. Like I don't even. It doesn't even register.
Well,
for
what's
most
the
people.
alien movie where the spaceship hovers over and they try to take, we got to fight it? Like we expect. Here's the thing, I guess once and maybe it could be happening in secret and they're not telling us, but you're basically talking about, and we all expect for a aircraft to very obviously in front of a bunch of people land, and then people get out, or entities
The
get
green
out.
little men.
Exactly. And that's never happened, and that's why we've not had the big flashpoint of like everybody looking at it, because it's just like little, it's still, with all this being out, right, it's still kind of like it could be fake because we haven't seen, you know what I mean? It's not just common knowledge on every station. The aliens are going to visit on Wednesday. Get your binoculars out and watch the spaceship landing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird, man. Dude, we should do an episode on the Bermuda Triangle.
Yeah, that's a good one, actually.
That's an interesting one.
Sorry, I'm replying to. I guess I could have just said it. Ryan asked if I would consider moving to another state. And I wrote, I lived in Georgia for 13 years, and I was actually trying to find a place right outside of Austin when I broke my leg in 2016 really bad and ended up, not being able to walk for like 4 months. So I stopped doing freestyle shows and even booking them, and that's when I moved back to New Jersey. But it's not my first choice.
Where would you say, because I've never been to the States, but, and this might be really stupid, I don't know, but I've been kind of in the back of my head being like, where would I go if shit popped off in Sweden, like lockdowns and all this stupid, like if it went crazy here, where would I go? And I've been like, oh, Spain is nice just for the weather. Norway is really nice because they have way less crime and stuff than Sweden does. But then I was like, maybe Florida or Texas.
Yeah, that's exactly where I would go, Florida or Texas. And there's a bunch of other pretty good, like Louisiana is corrupt as a motherfucker. So I wouldn't do Louisiana. But like Oklahoma is pretty rad as well.
Yeah.
Super similar to Texas. And they're very, I guess, conservative, because for lack of a better word, they're not like all this woke bullshit.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say somewhere like that for sure. I think up here we're too corrupted already.
Yeah, it's weird. I saw that that was kind of funny too. Was it Texas or Florida who made it? They reinstated the death penalty for like
I think Florida.
pedophiles.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
it was one of them. I don't remember. You are right.
yeah. And when
Yeah.
they did that, a bunch of like, you know, queer people or alphabet people came out and was really mad. And I'm like, are
What?
you just admitting that you're a
Yeah,
pedo?
exactly.
What the fuck?
Dude.
Yeah, it's weird.
All right, well, let's do next week. Let's do the Bermuda Triangle. Let's look into that.
Yeah, let's do it. Bermuda Triangle, that'd be fun. Oh, fuck, I think I have something on Thursday.
Okay. Well, whatever. We'll figure out what
We'll
day.
figure out. Yeah, yeah. Maybe I can change it around a little bit.
All good. Or we can do Friday morning either way.
Yep, yep.
Or whatever afternoon where you're at.
Yeah, it's nearly 4 o'clock here, p.m.
Yep. 9:30 a.m. here now. It's getting late. I
Nice.
got to do stuff, Rasmus.
Of course. I gotta go home to my family
There you go.
and
Look at
teach
you.
them about aliens and shit.
Yeah, and get
Yeah.
them some melatonin. And put those little fuckers to bed. And
Yeah, I know
then...
they're fucking. My kids pass out because I don't keep them on the fucking screen.
Yeah, because
all
they're
day.
probably running around all day being maniacs, and then they're like,
Yeah.
shut off. That's
Dude,
probably, besides the screens, right? Messing with melatonin. How about, it's like the same joke I have about restless legs, right? It's like never a marathon runner with restless legs.
Yeah.
It's like people that didn't do that much.
Yeah, dude, that's the one thing I saw this weekend when I was at my buddy's house. Now, my oldest son is nearly 3, so he's way younger than their kids. So I don't know what the situation will be when he's older. But like, my son doesn't even ask to watch the TV because he knows he can't. Like, he has like a small amount of time every day where he can watch, but he knows that it's not like midday. Like he just can't. He can't take my phone.
Yeah.
He doesn't touch my phone.
That's good though. That's
like
that's you guys instilling that, because the same
Yeah.
person that was fine with not being able to go with New York gives the
Yeah.
kids the phone all day long,
Yeah.
you know, till
Yeah.
shut them
You
up
know
or
what
whatever.
my son has instead of that? Fucking bruises.
Yeah, exactly.
He has a fat lip. Right now, he has a fat lip. He has both of his legs from the knees to the ankles scratched up. Both of them.
That's the way it should
From
be.
falling, like climbing and falling. Like he did all that in 2 days because we have him play.
Yeah. That was
He's
me
not on
as
the
a kid
fucking
as
screen all
well.
day.
I was always beat
Yeah.
up out in the dirt. I mean, we obviously there wasn't even, we had TV and that was it. You didn't even have cell phones or anything. But yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
I was in the yard digging jumps for my BMX bike and
Yeah.
playing army guys in the woods. Like I wasn't
Exactly.
watching TV.
Yeah. Yeah, it drives me nuts, man. Like, fucking tell your kids to go outside. Oh, but there's nothing to do outside. Throw a rock at
Yeah.
somebody. Do
Are,
something.
yeah, are you
There's
joking?
always something you can do, man.
Yeah, go out and fuck something
Yeah.
up, man.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, dude. It's
All
been
right.
fun.
Yes, sir.
Bermuda Triangle next week.
Next week we go to Bermuda. Thanks, Ryan,
Yeah.
for stopping in. And yeah, the new series of Free Thinkers will be out soon. I don't know if I'll get it up tonight, but yeah, probably tomorrow at least. So
Awesome. Thanks, Ryan, for watching, and everyone else.